you deal with pain in your upper chest, tightness in the bicep, forearm, wrist pain, or even pain into the thumb, keep watching. These stretches are for you. There is a band of fascia that connects all of the musculature from the upper ribs here down into the bicep, crossing into the forearm, into the thumb. And what I've noticed with multiple clients, usually people who have this posture or are typing like this all day, like your head is pushed forward and you have rounding of the upper back, usually these people have very short and contracted pecs, and then that shortens and pulls on the bicep, and then that inherently puts stress on the forearm, and then that pulls on the fascia into this thumb. So you kind of get locked up in the whole front arm fascial web. So keep watching to see some little tips and tricks of how to unlock that tight tissue. Number one, if you have any kind of tightness into the jaw, neck, pec, even the back or the front of the shoulder, go back and watch my video where I have you in the fetal position, sideline, pinching your pec and doing your half crescent moons. That is step number one, is to compress this pec muscle here, getting these 3 to 4 fingers under this pec and then this thumb on top. It's gonna go underneath this collarbone here in this soft tissue, and you're gonna be grabbing hold of that entire pec muscle. You can do this standing up like I am, but I'm telling you right now, it's better if you're on the ground in the fetal position. So go back and look for my video of 2 shoulder mobility exercises or stretches, something like that. It's not too far back. So you're gonna have this pec, you're not gonna let go of this pinch. You're gonna turn your head to the side, and then you're going to turn your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, and your fingers. And don't make a fist. Move your fingers. As you saw in those previous images, that fascia connecting from these upper ribs on that pec minor is going to run all the way through down into the fingertips and the thumb. So it's important we mobilize this tissue as well. So step number one is pinching that upper pectoral muscle, mobilizing the arm and the neck. So once you do that, come back and meet me here. Once you have compressed and relieved this fascia here, we're ready to try to open up the forearm here. So you're gonna do your best to just try to put your wrist into flexion. Now, if you're really tight on the front and the back of the forearm, your wrist flexion is not gonna be as good as mine. And neither is your thumb flexion. Most men aren't gonna be able to do this one either, as women are a little bit more flexible. But if you can't even do this because you're so tight, I want you to work on these carpals right here in the meat of your palm. And we're gonna work on this tissue up here. This is gonna be really tender if this is tight. If you type all day, this is going to be tender. So you can take your thumb in there and just dig your fingers in. And then right here is actually a pressure point. So if you deal with a lot of headaches as well, you can try to create like a 5 to 10 seconds of pressure on both sides of that thumb. And it may make you want to move your jaw around a little bit. So you can pressurize that, warm up this. This is a lot easier if you have someone do this for you. But what I've found is, especially like on this lateral edge of the thumb, what I have found is usually when people are tight there, almost every single time this whole area of fascia is like bound and shortened. You have what's called a retinaculum, which is basically like a thick band of like collagen fibrous tissue that kind of holds over, encapsulating all of these tendons and ligaments that connect up into the hand. So it's just like a thick band of fascia that holds here. So if you have a partner, you can have them pressurize that retinaculum here, and you can even do it yourself, and then try to mobilize the skin and the fascia and all those connective tissues in the wrist. So once you've kind of done both of those and just loosened up the tissue a bit, we're gonna do what's called skin rolling. This is like a type of fascial release or myofascial release. So you're gonna kind of start at the crease of the elbow here, and we're just gonna do the forearm for this part to try to loosen up all this. So you're gonna grab the skin and quite literally roll it. Now on my male clients who are like very muscular, or people who use performance enhancing drugs, I guess I could say, they're going to be really tight here. Or if you have a lot of scar tissue or injury, you're going to be really tight. So the goal is to kind of roll the skin the entire way up into the wrist. And we're basically just finding any fascial adhesions. So I have a little bit of fascial adhesions up here. And all that means, I want you to think of a fascial adhesion because there's multiple layers of your fascia all throughout your body. There's superficial and there's deep layers, and they both kind of have different job roles, but essentially do the same thing, creating structure and tension and creating like a smooth surface so there's no intense friction. When you get a fascial adhesion, it's going to feel a little bit thicker and denser of tissue. I want you to think of that fascial adhesion as a lack of hydration to those deeper collagen fascial tissue. So like maybe like 30 pieces of paper stuck together with glue, really hydrated fascia. That glue's still going to be wet. You can pull all the pieces of paper apart. But when that fascia becomes stressed out and dehydrated, an adhesion occurs. And that is like those 20 pieces of paper sat in the sun and that glue dried, and now you can't pull any of the pieces of paper apart anymore. So we need to hydrate that fascia again. You can do that mainly through lymphatic drainage. Super important with lymph. It's really good at relieving pain because you're rehydrating dried out tissue, creating a better information highway to send signals through your body through that fascial tissue, through those micro nanotubules filled with hyaluronic acid. That entire pathway of communication your body has can now communicate better because that fascial adhesion is warmed up, hydrated, and lubricated. Again, skin rolling is going to help break up those adhesions. You want to kind of roll in an upward fashion. I'm doing this a bit quicker for the video. So once you've kind of broken up all that fascia, we've worked the pec muscle, that's kind of putting a snag in the system. You know, once we release this pec, all that tension down the arm can release. Now we can start mobilizing the actual muscular tissue along with the fascia. So we're gonna start again into this wrist flexion. I'm gonna have you take your elbow and do your best to bring it into the rib cage and tuck. So this is gonna be like a little pocket shelf it can sit on. Take your fingertips, not your palm, your fingertips, and pull them back and then down. So you're arcing your fingers down towards your hip, snuggling your elbow up into the crevice of the side of your body and pulling. I'm feeling this mainly through here. Now you can angle the fingers in towards the body or away, and you're gonna feel this in different spots in the hand and forearm. Once we've connected that elbow, you're gonna go ahead and straighten the arm out best you can, still pulling those fingertips down. Really try to get into the pinky and the ring finger especially, and just open up. Dropping the shoulder away, rotating the hand inward. So fingers down, and we're gonna pull and rotate fingers in. You should get a nice stretch there. Do that on both sides. You can add my neck stretches in that I've showed in other videos. And then you can even, I like to grab my own wrist, roll my shoulder down and back, and then pull my elbow through, shoulders down, neck up to the sky. And bite the air, loosening up all that tissue. So I hope this helped you out. Just know, usually when you're tight in your forearms, thumbs, bicep, neck, upper chest area, it's usually that front arm web. So try some of those maneuvers out, see if it's giving you any relief, and let me know if you have any questions below.